Hi, Cancer, Sun, Moon, Ascendant, or Venus. This is Dane, and I'm going to be doing your December 2021 new moon reading for you. Now, I ask if this reading resonates with you. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. If you're interested in any of the cards that I'm using, they will be listed and linked in the description box below. Now, before we begin this reading, let us clear the energy space, raising our own energy vibration and releasing any negativity. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. Releasing all negativity from the body like storm clouds, letting yourself feel calm, centered, and at peace as we enter into this safe and loving space. Let's let the bowls sing as we see what the tarot has to say. How will Cancer be affected by the December 2021 new moon? Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. Angels and spirit guides. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. At the bottom is our rooted self. The left-hand side is our inner self. The middle, our heart, our emotional self. The right-hand side, the public arena, the public self. So let's see what the cards have to say. We have the star, which is Aquarius energy coming through. If we have Aquarius within our natal chart or within our lives, this part of our personality or these people within our lives are going to hit us at the root of ourselves. And these people are going to have more of an effect on our lives than even we realize at times. So just being aware of this is going to be important. Then we have the devil, which is Capricorn energy, also coming forward. So again, if we have this within our natal chart, if we have this within our lives, Cancer, they're going to be coming through very powerfully at our root. In our inner self, we have the death card, which is Scorpio energy, which actually plays a huge part astrologically here as we're moving forward, as does the star and Capricorn coming forward. But the Scorpio energy here, if we have it within our natal chart, if we have it within our lives, we're going to find that it affects us personally. Then we have the Six of Wands. The Six of Wands is celebration. The Six of Wands is being able to embrace success and really giving ourselves a pat on the back. So that's really quite good. Then we have the Four of Cups, a blessing coming in that we're not really going to be aware of. And the Two of Wands, looking out into the future, but also looking at where we are right now. It then brings us to our inner self, which is the Chariot. Cancer, that's us. We're represented by the Chariot in the major arcana, we're represented by the cups in the minor arcana. So the Chariot is us, it's movement, it's ferocity of spirit and soul, and it's really embracing who we are, where we want to be, how it is that we want to move forward. And then we have the Six of Cups. We're going to be rather nostalgic during this time, and a lot of the past is going to come forward into our present. So that's going to be something that we need to be aware of, because it might not always come in the best of ways, meaning that it can come in with good memories, most definitely, but it can also come forward as the doubts and the fears and the chaos that we have had in our lives, and the patterns that we're trying to break, but yet we feel like I'm stuck here, and I can't move forward. And so we just have to be aware of that here in the public arena. So let's look at the energy we need to be mindful of. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is the Queen of Cups. So this is us in the minor arcana. We have to be mindful of getting in our own way during this time. We also have to be mindful of emotional manipulation. There's also going to be a sense of the intentions of a person changing. There's going to be a gift offered, and we're going to think the person offers the gift in good faith or with one meaning behind it, and they have a completely cloaked and different meaning. So just be aware of that. There are going to be times where nothing is really quite as it seems. So taking that knowledge very much as it's always changing, it's always building, it's always growing, is going to be important to us. Now let's look at our chakra energy. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly. This is determination. Now, this is the solar plexus chakra. And what we're going to see here is that sometimes our emotions do get the best of us, and it feels like we're swimming against the chaos and the current of our emotions, of where it is that we think we should be, rather than where it is that we are now. But we're also going to see ourselves moving forward in a way that it's like, it was worth all the effort. It was worth all the time. We have to trust our guts, because our guts are going to be leading us in a direction that we hadn't anticipated, we hadn't realized for ourselves. And it's going to be in a different way that if we just listen to ourselves emotionally or logically, that we'd be moving. This is kind of like taking ourselves out of the equation and saying, all right, where do I need to be? Like, where does spirit want me to be? How do I need to move forward? And that's instinctually known as our gut reaction to things. So that's going to be really quite powerful during this time. Now let's look at this moon astrologically. This new moon is astoundingly powerful. It is a Sagittarius new moon. And here it says, luck is on your side. So as we're looking at the Sagittarius new moon on the 4th of December, we also have it as a full moon lunar eclipse, which is the first and only total lunar eclipse of 2021. So this amplifies its power tremendously. A solar eclipse amplifies the power of a new moon because the moon darkens the sun. And the most important aspect of astrology is the sun conjunct the moon, the sun's across from the moon. This gives us a burst of energy, a burst of insight, a burst of understanding and intuition, initiative. So we're really going to feel our gut telling us to move certain ways. And we're going to think, well, where is this coming from? It's coming from the power of the solar eclipse. It's coming from the power of the new moon. This brings us emotional balance, which helps us to see the way that we want to move forward on this new moon. Which is amplified, again, by the solar eclipse. It has us seeing the path that we want to move forward in much more clearly, which is excellent for the end of 2021 and the beginning of 2022. There's a sense here of, I see where I want to be. And we can really see this emotionally within ourselves. And we're going to be taking this emotional knowledge and using it for our public arena self, using it to really amplify ourselves, to really move ourselves forward, to see what we want, to see what we desire, to see where it is that we want to be, and get a fresh look, a fresh outlook on how it is that we're moving forward and taking aim. Now, close to this lunar eclipse, all right, and this new moon is the South Lunar Node going retrograde into Scorpio. All right, and this is a time that affects us personally. It's coming through in the cards right here. It affects us personally more so than it affects others. So not only is it a water sign energy, it's going retrograde into Scorpio, the South Lunar Node, but this is the first time it's happening in 18 years, which is the time it takes the lunar nodes to go through the zodiac. So the South Lunar Node is the place of memories. It is the place where the energies that are draining within our lives are looked at, they're called out. It's our karmic destiny. So this is a time innerly that we're going to be looking at our karmic destiny and what we want. We're going to be looking at things and seeing how everything aligns, where it is that we need to be, what it is that we desire. The South Lunar Node is known as the tail of the dragon. The North Lunar Node is known as the head of the dragon. So this tail of the dragon is sweeping our karmic debris in our lives, into our understanding. It has us looking at the karmic theme of who we are, where it is that we want to be, what it is that's holding us back, what it is that we've constantly been tripping over, not only in this life, but also in past lives. And as it comes in Scorpio, okay, Scorpio is ruled by Pluto. And Pluto has a powerful connection with the lunar nodes because it is the connection of the soul. And here is where our reincarnation and our souls are being aligned with the energy that we need in our lives and to expel from our lives so that we no longer are held back in a way that has been detrimental to us in past lives, in the past of our existence in this life, in the way that we want to move forward. So there's going to be a victory here, and that's what the cards are definitely showing. And it's going to be powerful, it's going to be insightful, but it's also going to be astoundingly personal. So during this time, we are amplified. Now, we also have to remember, Cancer, that we feel full moons, lunar eclipses, the phases of the moon, the new moon, much more so than others do because we are ruled by the moon in astrology. So a new moon comes in and it hits us harder than it hits others. We also have here the new moon conjunct Mercury, which puts our thinking, our communication, our short distance travel into focus. We are alert, we are quick thinking, we are adaptable, and we are curious. We are good at buying and selling during this time. We are also good at negotiations and at being social. But what we have to remember here is that emotionally we can also get entangled into things more so than we need to be. So we have to be mindful of that and not to emotionally be entangled by other people's words. The new moon is also going to be sextile Uranus. Now, this hits us hard because of the star, Aquarius energy coming through. Aquarius is ruled by Uranus. So Uranus, this isn't a relaxing planet. It is a planet that causes anxiety and nervousness and makes us tense. This is going to be a time where we find it hard to relax. We feel as if there's going to be some big change, some big drama on the horizon, and that's because there is. What we're going to see here is that we need to relax, and it's going to be hard to relax because we know a change is coming. We know a change is going to sweep us forward, is going to really be intense in our lives and move us in a direction that we hadn't seen coming, and yet we also had seen coming, which we'll get into a bit more in a little bit. There's going to be a buildup of energy within us that, again, makes it hard to relax, makes it hard for us to feel on our game, to feel as if we can handle anything that's thrown at us, because at times we're doubting if we can. Now, the new moon is also going to be sextile Saturn. Now, this is amplified because of Capricorn energy here at our root. Capricorn is ruled by Saturn. And so Saturn is coming in, and this is a very grounding influence for us. This reduces the anxiety of Uranus, so that's a great thing. It aligns us with caution and patience and perseverance and a strong sense of responsibility. Again, Capricorn energy very much embodies that. We are able to set our goals. We are able to get the job done. But we need to remember to be kind to ourselves because we're going to actually think that if we make a mistake, it is completely unacceptable. And what we're going to see here is that mistakes are part of learning, are part of life, and they can actually help us see things in a much clearer way, which is going to be shown by Saturn being squared Uranus. Now, this can challenge us. This can challenge us, there we go, in ways that we don't want and bring setbacks because it opens our mind. And if we are patient with ourselves, if we are patient with the people around us, and we are flexible, this is a time where these challenges turn into opportunities to rid our life of negativity, to see a new progression forward, to look at what we need to be and the movement that we desire within our lives to open up the door. The eclipse aspect pattern here, all right, which also aligns, of course, with the new moon, is called the large learning triangle. Now, this represents the crisis mechanism that results in profound learning. This represents the crisis that comes up in our lives and the profound learning that comes forward from this crisis, the development of ourselves and our tenacity and our determination. This triangle consists of the conflict, which is represented by Saturn squared Uranus. It has that challenge being brought up, that change, that setback that comes forward. And again, if we move forward with it with an open mind, with patience for ourselves, and again, those around us, we will find that we can weather this storm very, very well. It leads us to the striving for the solution, which is the new moon quincus Uranus, which is the new moon quincus Uranus has us looking at things anxiously and, really looking at the way that we need to relax to be able to deal with the situation, the way that we need to, see the tension within us. And then the harmonizing aspect is the new moon sextile Saturn, which is this sense of I am grounded, I am cautious, I am patient, I am persevering, I am stronger than even I realized. And this is all about our strength, all about our focus moving forward. Now, not astrologically speaking, well, yes, astrologically speaking, but in accordance to the stars, we have the fixed star Alwade here. Now, the fixed star Alwade is in the constellation of Draco, which is, of course, the naming of the dragon, bringing us back to the south lunar node and the other name for it, the tail of the dragon coming forward. So this dragon energy is very, very important here. Alwade, which was known by ancient astrologers as the nimbulous eye of the dragon, meaning that it's the hazy eye of the dragon. It doesn't see things as clearly as it should. And in Arabic, the Arabic meaning is who's to be betrayed. So because we don't see things clearly, it's the betraying aspect. It's the sense of we can't always judge what we're seeing here. We're going to be quick because of the stars' alignment to have judgments already set up, to have things already kind of, not pre-decided, but we're going to have our judgment kind of set up for ourselves. We're going to think, oh, that person's speaking, they always think this way or that way, and so I'm just not going to listen. And that's actually going to be detrimental for us because this star aligns with the power of Mars, okay, Aries energy, and the power of Saturn, Capricorn energy coming forward. And it makes us bold, it makes us cruel, it makes us heartless, it makes us at times criminal and violent. So we have to be aware of the harshness to this star, to this alignment, to this power coming forward. So be mindful of our emotions. Be mindful of the fact that the star takes away the vision that we think we're having. So we're going to need to look at things again and not act as quickly as we want to. So be really, really aware of this. Now, there's also the fixed star Antares. Now, Antares is the star at the heart of the constellation of Scorpio. All right, and Scorpio aspect comes up very powerfully in our inner selves. We're going to see Antares impacting us more personally than maybe in the external world. And this was known by the ancient Greeks as the anti-Eris, or the rival of Mars, because of its coloring, because you can confuse it in the sky, and you could think it was Mars because it was also red and green colored. Now, Antares is the nature of Mars and of Jupiter, making it commanding, which is fantastic, right? Prideful, malevolent, destructive, broad-minded, which is one of the best things that we can say about it, rash and headstrong, and again, destructive. It makes it astoundingly, I will act first and I will think about my actions later. And that's going to be something that we really need to be mindful of, because in our inner selves, and because of, Alwade that is having us not see things clearly, we're going to act off of judgment that might not be the best for us and just plow forward and kind of look at the consequences later. And Spirit's saying here, don't do that. Not even Spirit, our angels, our spirit guides, everybody is saying to us, just look at things first, act second, because we're really going to want to act first, look second. Now, with the star, this is one of the reasons why the stars are going to be so powerful for us, because we do have the star at our root right here. But the star is also this guiding light forward. It is our wishes and our deepest desires. It's not necessarily what we want, what we cross our fingers for, but it's what we deeply need within ourselves that we are lacking. It's something that our souls have been striving for again and again and again. What we're going to see is that divinity starts to bring it forward for us. Divinity starts to move us forward in this splendid, spectacular way and starts to call forward this power, this insight, these ideas, and it moves us to the devil. It moves us to this place where we are looking at the fears. We are looking at the heartbreaks, the pains, the disappointments that have held us back. We're looking at the devil, the dragons that guard, what is most precious to us. If we look at mythologies, if we look at, folklores, we see that dragons guard what we as human beings value most. And yet is silly for a dragon to value. What does a dragon have to do with maidens and gold? So here we're going to find that what is being guarded from us is not necessarily what that person values the most, or what, the shadowed aspect of ourselves values the most. It's what we value the most and yet think that we cannot have. It's also going to be calling us to look at our addictions, the addictions of drugs and alcohol, sex and food and shopping, addictions that we can say, okay, I've heard of that before. But they're also going to be the addictions that people praise us for. Oh my gosh, you work out so much, you're so fit. And yet it causes us anxiety if we miss a day. It causes us anxiety if we eat over a certain calorie count. That's an addiction. It's not something that's good for us. And yet it's something that people praise. Also, if we eat really, really clean, we eat super healthy, but if anything, going to the grocery store becomes anxiety riddled because there's so many choices and we always have to make the best choice. We always have to do the right thing. We could be addicted to being anxious. We could be addicted to, procrastination. We could be addicted to so many things that cause this adrenaline rush or cause this, this fear to come forward in us. And we think, oh, well, that's the way that it's supposed to be. And yet Spirit is saying here, no, it's not. There's supposed to be a peace to life, and there's supposed to be a beauty to life. And we gravitate towards people who have that peace and have that beauty. And now it is time for us to have that peace and have that beauty within ourselves. This is shattering what society thinks we should be. This is shattering what we once thought we should be. And this is saying, this is who I am. This is what I want, and this is what I need within my life and for myself. It moves us to the death card. It moves us to the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. And that is something that can be mournful. We could have this idea of who we wanted to be. And as we're growing, we're seeing, oh, well, that idea of me, that isn't who I truly am. That isn't how I need to move forward. But this part of me that I hadn't acknowledged, that I hadn't realized, this is coming forward. This is powerful. And so we start to see ourselves changing. We start to see ourselves moving forward in maybe a different direction than we ever thought we would move forward in. Or we start to see ourselves releasing certain things that we once held very, very dear, but now they don't have a place in our life. They don't have a place for us. And so this release brings us insight. It brings us power. It brings us understanding. It brings us focus. In our inner selves, we are seeing this transformation. We can also be longing for an adventure. We could be longing for something so much more. And this death and rebirth is saying to us, why not? Why not try? Why not go? Why not expand? Why not see? And that's leading us to victory. Now, we do have the repeat of the number 6 here. And the repeat of the number 6 is the most nurturing of all the numbers in numerology. So we're going to have here this very nurturing energy around us, this very real sense of I am valued, I'm seen, I am connected, and I'm beginning to understand. And this leads us to being able to celebrate ourselves, which I actually see here, Cancer, as something that we're going to find a bit hard to do. We're going to find it very easy to berate ourselves when we don't do something right, but we're going to find it kind of hard to be able to celebrate ourselves when we do something right. We're going to think, well, I should have done that right, and I could have actually done it better. And so here, what Spirit is saying is embrace your heart, embrace your soul, celebrate yourself like you would want a really good boss to celebrate you, like you would want a friend or a loved one or, a lover to celebrate you, not always putting you down, but building you up. Why not be that person of confidence for ourselves? Why not be that cheerleader for ourselves instead of everybody else? And it moves us to the 4 of Cups. It moves us to blessings coming into our lives that we don't readily see and that don't actually feel like blessings at the time. If you have kids, right? And you have some of those days where, you're looking at them and you're thinking, oh, I don't like you. Like, I love you to pieces, but I don't like you right now. And this is going to be like something in our lives like this. This is going to be something, or friends or lovers, where you look at them and you think, I love you. I don't like you. Like right now, you're not my favorite person and I don't really want to see you. You could have your dream job, and at days, we have days where it's like, I don't want to get out of bed. I don't want to do this. This is what this energy is here. It is a gift that comes in, and it's something that we've worked towards. It's something that when we look back at it, we'll be like, that's a changing point. That is something powerful here. And we're going to see that once we start to step back from our own expectations and we start to say, okay, divinity, guide me, let me see, let me understand, help me to move forward in the power that is me, that becomes the game changer here. And it also is the fact that our gifts don't necessarily always have to be wrapped in the prettiest of paper, don't always have to be the most mind-blowingly beautiful of things. Sometimes the greatest gifts come in the most unremarkable, packaging that we could ever have expected. And yet they have such a profound effect on us. It leads us to the Two of Wands. It leads us to looking at our future. It leads us to looking at our present. We have the crystal ball there, right? So we're looking into the future. We're looking into what we desire, what we want, what we hope for, what we long for. But we're also looking at where we stand right now. And we're looking at the passion that we have. We're looking at the dreams that we have. And we're looking at the way that we can say, this is me. This is what I want. This is what I need. I'm opening up the door. I'm not staying in a small, closed-in world anymore. I'm starting to see the way that I can move into myself. And it brings us into the movement of ourselves. It brings us into the essence of ourselves. It brings us into the power of our subconscious and our conscious. It brings us into the power of our hearts, because so often we forget how powerful our hearts are. It also brings us into the power of the new moon and the solar eclipse and the sun. We're going to see this duality to us, Cancer. And we're not going to have really realized it before. We've always been so busy with keeping the peace. We've always been so busy in the emotions that we forget what powers our emotions, the light of day and the darkness of night. We're going to see what guides us forward, what we want, what is visible, okay, the conscious part of ourselves, and what is hidden away, the subconscious part of ourselves. And we're going to be looking at the way that we move forward with our hearts in determination, in focus, in connection with what we love, with what we long for, and what we truly want for ourselves and what we desire in life. And it brings us to the Six of Cups. It's going to bring us to that nagging little feeling inside that says, I can't have this because XYZ. I can't have this because I failed once in the 6th grade. I can't have this because when I was 6 years old, I had this loss that I'm still healing from. I can't have this because... And what we're going to see here is that for too long, we've carried the negative words of others. We've carried the negative emotions, and it's stopped us in our lives. It's let us get so far and then held us back. Have you ever noticed that some people who really make it, they're not that talented, they're not that smart, they're not that anything, but they have a gumption and a conviction to them, a chutzpah to them that is astounding. You sit there and you look at them and you're like, I see your flaws, but I also somehow really like you, or, feel like you could be followed or do a really good job. And that's because they're not letting their past. They might let it in other circumstances, but in that area, they're not letting their past, their failures, their hurts, their pains hold them back. There is confidence there. And we as human beings are programmed to respond to confidence. So why not have that confidence within ourselves? Why not, through this rebirth and this regeneration of self and desires, embrace the passion of what we want and where we need to be? Let's look at what the moon has to say for herself. Angels and spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Guide this reading and show me clearly, angels. And spirit guides, angels. And spirit guides, show me clearly. Oh, goodness. Guide this reading and show me clearly. So at our root, we have a fiery climax approaches. Will it into being. A fiery climax approaches, a determination, a focus, a intensity approaches. We will it into being. How we connect with the power of this new moon, how we connect with the power of our hidden self. It brings us to our inner self. And it says it's a time to give rather than take. New beginnings. So it's a time to give of these new beginnings rather than to take of them. It's a time to step out into the world rather than hoarding it all within ourselves. And we have the new moon showing up right here, meaning, and we also have the new moon coming through with the new moon in Virgo here at the bottom. So we're going to have the sense of the new moon being astoundingly important for us, the quiet of it, the connection with it. This could be a day where just sitting outside during this new moon is powerful and intense and beautiful. So we're going to find here that we are moving forward in a focus of giving of this energy rather than just needing to absorb it all in. It's going to inspire us in very powerful ways. It moves us to our emotional self. And it says, don't let pride get in the way. Change, because this is changing so much. Because through this moon, we're going to see us moving mountains. We're going to see us pushing forward. It brings us to our subconscious, not our subconscious, our lunar public arena self. And it says nothing will come of the situation, pleasure. Nothing will come of the situation if we do not let in the pleasure that this moon can bring us, that this energy can bring us. If we don't start expressing the passion and the insight and the determination within us to move mountains and move forward and express and love ourselves. Nothing will come of it if we don't take hold of it. Our subconscious Luna message is the new moon coming through once again. A new start is coming, so amplifying the energy right here. In both of these decks, the new moon comes forward, and patience. The new moon is intense for us. It guides us, it moves us forward. We need to have patience with it. We need to have patience with ourselves. We need to have patience with how we embrace this energy. It moves us to our subconscious rooted energy, which is the death card. Again, Scorpio energy coming forward, the dying away of the old self, the rebirth of the new. This is a time of transformation. This is a time of seeing that which we hadn't seen before. This is a time of releasing of the past and moving forward in the present with fierceness and determination and focus. It brings us to our subconscious energy to be mindful of. And that's the Prince of Wands. We have to be mindful of just charging forward, of thinking, okay, everything's changing. I'm just going to run forward. I'm just going to go after this. And we're also going to be very attracted to people, not just sexually, but also just in life, that are fierce and go-getters. And we're going to think, wow, that energy, I need more of that. This is just simply chaos. We're going to mistake it for wisdom because they're going to speak with such confidence, but it's just chaos here. So be mindful of being swept into somebody else's chaos. It moves us then to our subconscious chakra energy, which is self-mastery. This is the solar plexus chakra. This is the mastering of the self, through the centering of the self, to listening to our gut reactions, and through, finding our voice, through finding our balance. It moves us to our subconscious inner self, and that is the Two of Cups. That's healing, beautiful love coming forward. That's unity. That's compassion. That's a sense of love and connection. There's a sense here of the masculine and the feminine aspects of ourselves guiding us forward, the subconscious and the conscious coming together. It moves us to our subconscious emotional self. And that's the death card, not the death card, the devil coming through again, that Capricorn energy, that energy of Saturn. And it's saying here, the light is hidden. And yet it still illuminates the path. We are being guarded. And what we are seeing is not necessarily what everybody else will see. Do not judge yourself off of other people's perceptions. It moves us to our subconscious public arena self, and that's the Ace of Wands. It's passion and it's determination and it's fire and it's new beginnings, and it's being able to say, this is a new dawn, this is a new day, this is a new moon. It wipes the slate clean. And I'm moving forward with the fire that is me, with the determination that guides me, with the passion that is a part of me. All right, Cancer. I hope this reading has resonated with you. I wish you nothing but light, love, peace, and happiness. May harmony always be with you. I'm sending loving, healing energy to each and every one of you. I love you all, and stay safe. Let's end this reading with a meditation, a clearing away of negative energy, a raising of our positive energy as we embrace the power and the intensity of this new moon. So take a nice deep breath in, exhaling whenever it feels comfortable for you. May you move forward in peace and in harmony, Cancer, and may you have a blessed moon.